All right, what is up, everybody? I'm nice and small today so that you can see the entirety of the screen here. I had a couple of people mention that my STEM tutorial was very helpful, but also a little bit long-winded, and to be honest, not surprised. But that being said, what I wanted to do was make a very quick one for you all so that when you're preparing stems for remixing or for sending in for mastering, you can just follow it. It'll be very step by step, and I can show you these steps to getting stems properly printed from your DAW that you can send to your mastering engineer or your remixer or whatever, or just for archiving purposes. Really, this is much easier than most people make it out to be. Basically what we're doing here is, I've got this track that I'm working on, not very complicated yet, still only partially of the way through it, but I'm going to use it for example purposes. Essentially, I have my drums here, I have a bass groove, a hollow pluck, and some keys, and that's about it. But we are going to pretend this is a final track, and I've got some, stuff on the master here. What we're going to do first is, the idea is we don't want anything on the master, because any of that is going to make my job a little bit harder as a master if you've got EQ and compression on there, and especially if you've got limiting. So go ahead and make sure to turn off all of your master track stuff. Don't mind Console 7. That's just a routing plugin, but it's essentially not doing anything. So what I've got here is my drum sounds, and what I'm going to do is, now you can do this in any DAW. I'm just showing you in Ableton. What I have is all these tracks are individual, and they all have a little bit of processing on them. But what we want is to stem these out. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight all of my drum tracks and hit Control G. And what Control G is going to do is that makes a group. So now you can go drum group. So now I have all my drums in a group. The bass, don't necessarily need to put that in a group because there's just one of them. But maybe we want to put this hollow pluck. We're going to put all of our synths into one group. And all of your vocals into one group, and all of your effects into one group. And so, you want to shoot for maybe five different groups total, whether it's, drums and bass and vocals and synths, and then everything else, or effects or instruments or whatever it is you want it to be. But you just are going to want to, break it into 5 chunks like that. And for this example, we're just going to do 3, right? So I've got the drums already grouped, I've got the sub bass. I'm going to take these last couple, I'm going to group these. I like to change the color here, and let's rename that to keys, GRP, keys group. Cool. So now we have literally 3 different stems that we're going to export, right? And so we've already turned off all of our master processing stuff. If you have effects, like if you already have these grouped and you have effects that are a part of your sound, so to speak, if it's going to change, you've got delays in there and reverbs and stuff, those are fine, because that's a part of the integral sound of your song. Again, we just want to make sure that there's nothing on the master that will make it harder for me to master your track. So then once we do that, all we have to do is solo the drums, and we're going to go here and highlight from the start to the finish of the track. Hit render. If you don't have to, I just hit Control Shift R on the keyboard, but you can go up here, you can go to export, and then make sure to have all this stuff off. You want to be at very least 44.1. 48 is better if you are making your songs in 48K. Encode PCM on. We want wave, bit depth 24, no dither, no MP3, no SoundCloud, no video. And so then we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And from there, I'm going to name this bounce drum group stem. Okay. And go ahead and OK. And that is going to render out. All right, there we go. Went ahead and just fast forwarded through that so you didn't have to sit around for the render time. So now we're going to do the same thing. We have it still highlighted. We have the song highlighted from start to finish. You can leave that if you want, just make sure to hit solo, or you can just highlight again. Sometimes I find that re-highlighting it again from the start to the finish helps me kind of keep track of where I'm at with the stem creating process. So might be good to do. So anyway, sub bass groove, that's the only bass we're going to render. And again, start to finish, it's just better to be safe about it and do start to finish. And go ahead and again, go to export audio video, all the same settings. Get the wave set up, and we're going to make this one bass stem. All right, there we go. That is our bass stem exported. And now we're going to go down to the keys group and we're going to solo that. And again, just to keep track of things, let's go ahead and highlight all that so we know exactly what we're exporting. And we're going to go up here to export and do it again. Same folder, same settings, everything. Name this keys stem. There we go. All right, there we go. So it is important here that you open a new live Ableton session or DAW session. And what we're going to do is we're going to just pop those back into our DAW just to make sure that everything is right and everything sounds the way that we want it before we send that over. And so that just kind of adds a little bit of quality assurance. So we're not going back and forth, with me doing work and then on the mix or the master. And then I send it back and you say, oh, well, so something's missing. And then you have to do the whole process over again. It's really just better if you're going to do, especially mixing, but even, stem mastering, if you just create a new session. And all you have to do here is just drag these back into your session. And once they're all lined up, we're just going to hit play and just give them a listen, give them a visual look over. So yeah, that sounded good. Those sound like they are ready to send over. So again, what you can do now is you just highlight these, and that should be the same for Mac or PC. And I'm going to go to Add to Archive and hit OK. And what that's going to do is it's just going to pop those into a zip folder. And that way, nothing gets lost in the transfer. It's just one file that I can then open. On Mac. It's called, it's called Create Archive or something like that as well. And so now what you're going to do is just swing over to WeTransfer, which is a great free transfer website. And what you're going to do is, what I actually like to do is I like to do get a transfer link. And what that does is it just makes it much easier for you to add your files. And you can go to where you dropped those, and now you select your zip file, and it's going to open there, and you can see it says stems.rar, and you go get link. And this way, by using the link, it means that if you have the email wrong or whatever, there's been issues with emails not going through and that sort of thing lately. So I think doing the link is a much better way to go. And then you go copy link, and you can just put that into an email, which is actually much easier, or you can put it into Instagram Messenger. Basically anywhere that we're talking or contacting each other is going to be better, because the link is just super easy. It brings me right to the download, and from there I can go ahead and get started. So anyway, that's basically it. Hopefully this has been much more concise and helpful. Once again, I'm Scott Brio of Dance Diamond Mastering, and if you need any of your tracks to be mixed or mastered, go ahead and just shoot me an email. You can send it to mastering@scottbrio.com. So anyway, Scott Brio here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.